Welcome on back, everybody, to episode 95 of Streaming with the Mouse. It's been a long time since we've talked to you due to a bunch of different things, but we are back. We are going to be talking about the latest episode of Marvel Studios' What If? Marvel Zombies, or What If Zombies, I guess is what it's called. Sit back, relax. This is Streaming with the Mouse. And welcome on back after a long hiatus. We are finally back and Streaming at the Mouse. We're talking about...
Cam, is that you?
It is me. Is that Cliff?
It's been so long. Do you have new glasses?
I do have new glasses.
Oh, that was just a bad joke I wrote a few
days.
I
legitimately do have new glasses. Last time we spoke on it. Hand to God, we have new glasses.
That was a joke I was like thinking of. I'm like, okay, how am I gonna razz him for the next couple days?
Nope, that's a legit thing.
I had a couple things. I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna go with the glasses. I wasn't even thinking. That's pretty funny.
Good timing. But Cliff, we're back. We're finally doing this. I had a lot of stuff going on, so I want to thank Cliff's patience for finally we get to do this now. I appreciate it. Thanks to all of you, the listeners, for coming back. Sorry for the hiatus. We're back. We're going to talk about What If going forward. Sorry for the delay, but Cliff, how you been, buddy?
I've been pretty good. I think it's been nice to slow down with the content, not like Streaming with the Mouse wise, but Disney Plus wise. It's nice that it's chilled out a little bit. It's only What If now. I know we're not actually going to end up talking about what if all the Avengers died in Doctor Strange. Did I miss any of them? I think it's those two.
I think it's those two.
Horrible is how I would explain what if all the Avengers died. That's like the low point.
Wait, do you think that was the horrible episode, or
I think it was a horrible episode.
Oh, I agree. I didn't like it. I don't think it was horrible. I didn't like it though.
And I think Doctor Strange's one was like a chef's kiss, like a mwah, like so good. People need to stop saying it's evil Doctor Strange. It's not. It's misguided. And at the end, he realized the error of his ways.
He's literally
people on Twitter need to chill with that. But it was really funny. People were making jokes on. I saw a really funny TikTok yesterday that was like, "What if Captain America girl and British? What if Avengers died?" And then it was like, "What if Doctor Strange continuously watches the love of his life continuously die over and over, sending him into?" And it was just like, "What if zombies?" And it was just really funny because that was the most complex one. Marvel Zombies though is just so cool, and the comic is horrid.
Yeah.
In a great way. Robert Kirkman is the writer of Marvel Zombies, who is very well known for kind of modernizing zombies. Is that the best way to put it?
Yeah.
He's the writer of The Walking Dead. I have my gripes with that, not the comic, but the TV show. But we won't talk about that. Maybe we will.
Might a little bit.
But yeah, it was good.
So okay, so you didn't like the What If the Avengers Died episode? It was fine. It didn't really do anything for me. I kind of agree with you on that. I don't think it was horrible, but I didn't care for it.
In the scheme of what we've seen.
Yeah, I guess that's the best way to do it. Whereas the Doctor Strange one was chef's kiss, the best way to put it. It was perfect. It really puts you, the amount of times we see, I can't think of the name, but Amy McAdams' character in that Doctor Strange's girlfriend die was... It was so repetitive, but it was needed to really make it like show like Doctor Strange Madness. I really hope we get that version of Doctor Strange and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness for like a live action to be awesome. We'll see if that happens.
My only gripe with that is Benedict Cumberbatch's voice doesn't translate too well to animation.
He does good as the Grinch when he was the animated Grinch. I liked him in that.
He did, but seeing like his face, like I don't know, there was just this disconnect for me, and there was nothing wrong. It didn't diminish anything at all. I was just like, it's kind of odd. It's like just a little weird. But no, I was happy with that one, and I think the repetitiveness is important for Doctor Strange.
Absolutely, yeah. Cliff, before we talk about Marvel Zombies, because that's what we're here for today, we have a bunch of news. I'll start off with one. If you haven't seen it already,
I have not.
Studios and you have. Oh. But Marvel Studios and Lego. This is a different news story. Sorry, Cliff. Marvel Studios and Lego released the little minifigures. I don't know if you have that as your news story, Cliff, so sorry if you did.
It is not.
The little minifigures, there was 12 different characters. All of them are representative of Marvel Studios Disney Plus characters. So you have Falcon as Captain America, you got Zombie Hunter Spider-Man, you got Gamora as Thanos, you have Wanda, Loki, all those characters, Sylvie even. Really cool stuff. Cliff and I made a little video where we did some openings of the little figures. We each got some really cool ones. I think T'Challa is also one of them because you double got him as Star-Lord. Pretty cool. Check them out. They're a little hard to find in stores. We had to finally find one after my 8 store looking. Cliff found them, and then I drove right over to meet him there. But really fun stuff. So if you're a fan of the Marvel Studios Disney Plus projects, or Lego, or both, definitely a fun little way to collect some goodies.
Yeah, for sure. I think they were really cool. Barnes and Noble always has stuff. Someone else posted something else.
With Pokemon cards, you can always
that
get
I
Pokemon
saw
cards at Barnes and Noble.
I know. I just randomly saw someone else online be like, "Oh, I finally found the Marvel Legos at Barnes and Noble," because they always get stuff first. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Barnes and Noble's a priority one shop, just because of how it's set up and it's nice. I will start. I want to end on the fun ones. So I will say we have 2 potential dates for Disney Plus releases for both Shang-Chi. Absolutely incredible. One of my favorite Marvel movies in recent memory, and Eternals. So what people need to understand that Disney is doing going forward is they're giving newly released films a 45-day theatrical grace period, so they will be guaranteed in theaters for at least 45 days without anything untouched. People crunch the numbers. I mean, Shang-Chi is probably coming to Disney Plus October 18th, and Eternals will be coming out December 20th. So it's actually kind of nice. Hawkeye will be finishing up there, which we'll be talking about soon. And also a nice little Christmas thing, because I'm guessing Eternals, they just keep talking about it, and I'm like, wow, it sounds, I think, mystical is the name for it, is the word for it. And I'm just so excited for Eternals. And also, you can get hyped if that comes out then you can go see Spider-Man.
Absolutely.
So there's all this options. But a 45-day theatrical release is what we are now seeing that Disney will be doing. Cruella came out on the 27th, so 2 weeks ago now. But yeah, I don't think there's much to comment on it. I think that's kind of smart. I am both ways. I don't think I would have, I loved Shang-Chi, but I think I needed to see it on that big screen to really appreciate it.
I definitely don't think I appreciate it as much as you, and the reason for that, for those of you who don't know, I'm going finally, after a year and a half, I'm finally going on my honeymoon this Sunday to Disney World, which I'm very excited about, with my wife. I didn't feel as comfortable going into the theaters, even though I'm fully vaxxed, all that stuff. I didn't feel as comfortable going into the theaters, not knowing who's vaccinated, because I really just don't want anything to screw up this Disney trip. So my wife and I, we saw it in the drive-in theaters, and it was great. I absolutely loved it. There were some parts that were dark on the screen, and with the lighting, it was tough to see some things, especially that fight scene with that big creature at the end.
I don't even know what that really was, but
it was just tough to watch.
I enjoyed it.
So I want to see it in actual theaters, or even on Disney Plus, where I can actually clearly see everything.
Just choose a random Tuesday night.
That's what I'm gonna.
And it'll be dead.
I'm gonna do it after Disney. I'm fine going. Like I said, I'm vaccinated. I'll put a mask on. I just didn't want anything to screw up my Disney trip, so that's why we're gonna do that.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. I will probably go see it one more time in theaters, especially
maybe we'll
now
go together when I get back.
Maybe, but now that I have one of the plans that you get X amount of movies a month for a flat rate.
I need to look into that.
But you have one other thing about stuff you can buy.
Yeah, so today
you can eat and get something for free with it.
Yeah, so for those of you that know me, and because we're a Disney Plus podcast, I love Disney World. Disney World is celebrating the 50th anniversary.
You're kidding.
Beginning October 1st.
You're kidding me. You like Disney?
I love it. I love it. I've been 27 times. I'll be going my 28th time this weekend, so I'm very excited. One thing Disney did that was really cool back in 2002 when it was Walt Disney's 100th birthday was they released all these different Disney toys. And since Disney and McDonald's, these are McDonald's toys, I should mention that. Since Disney and McDonald's created a partnership again about last year or so, they had those Mickey and Minnie Runaway Railway toys. I think there's been some Pixar toys too. They're now having 50 brand new toys to celebrate the 50th anniversary. They're all the different characters that I believe are the gold statues around Walt Disney World in toy form, not gold, but in the character thing. So I actually went today to McDonald's, got a Happy Meal. No shame about it. And the toy I got was one of the statues. So it's Gus from Cinderella. And all the different toys have a different background to them based off what character the park would go most likely. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see the little background is Cinderella's castle. It's holographic, so I have the daytime castle, the nighttime castle, the fireworks. Obviously, Gus is in Cinderella, so that makes sense why it's with Cinderella's castle. I believe all the statues with the backgrounds go with what park the statues are in, because the statues are all around Walt Disney World. Cool little thing, just $4 or $5 for a Happy Meal. You get a cool little collectible toy for for the 50th anniversary of Walt Disney World. I will probably be grabbing as many of these as I can. I don't think I'm going to get the whole set, but definitely hoping to get at least one of the Fab Five in their celebration iridescent clothes, especially if I can get Donald. That'd be cool. But cool little find if anybody wants to go travel to McDonald's and grab some not so great for you food, but cute little toys.
Good in moderation, based on a 2,000 calorie a day diet. Two things. We have two new. It's been so long. I don't know if this was announced prior. This one was announced yesterday. High School Musical, the musical, the series has been announced for a season 3. They were all talking about it yesterday. I mean, you'll be watching this on September 15th. But or later, depending on whenever you listen to us. But we had the Met Gala last night, so Olivia Rodrigo was there. She also won her first VMA and performed as well. She's still all over the radio, which is insane. And I'm trying to think what else. And the other big thing is What If has been given a season 2. That might have been announced prior, but it's been so long, so surprise or I'm repeating myself. I think it's going to be different stories. That would be my guess, because like this season 1 seems like it's going to be Guardians of the Multiverse is what people are calling it. I'll be interested to see what's next. I hope they go a little bit bolder, maybe extend it a little bit.
I think some of this has been bold though so far, but yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I just think something that's not even a what if. Like, also they might go off of Eternals. Like, what if Thanos wasn't born with the deviant variant? That would be an interesting one. And then finally, we have our second official Marvel Christmas thing. And its first ever Marvel Christmas TV show, as the Hawkeye trailer debuted the other day. And Cam was one giant bah humbug.
No.
One
First of all,
giant bah humbug.
First of all,
as he goes, I will read this quote for quote. You can, while I pull this up, you can state your weak defenses. Go ahead.
I'm also going to pull this up to get. It's not that I wasn't excited for it. I think, Cliff, you agreed with what I said. This show is too normal. It's too grounded for me, and I love. Which is so weird for me to say, because I love grounded superhero stories. That's why I love Daredevil. That's why I love Spider-Man. But I've been so... I was... As much as I liked Falcon and Winter Soldier in the moment, like, looking back on it, I was very let down with that series, and that's a very grounded series as well. And then when you bring in, like, Loki and WandaVision, which are a lot more mythical, a lot more actual superpower-y kind of things, instead of, like, a lot of technology kind of things. The trailer was fine. Cliff, your reminder that who's coming, a certain actor is coming, got me very excited again. The trailer was fine. I'm excited for it, but I'm definitely not like hyping it like I was when we saw the first WandaVision trailer or Loki trailer or anything like that, if that makes sense.
So it was actually really funny. He texted me, this was yesterday, so the 13th, goes, in the morning, goes, Hawkeye trailer today at some point, maybe Monday Night Football, ? 5, and then I go, I think early. I said early in the day, but also Monday Night Football. I don't even think I watched the Eli Manning broadcast, which was excellent. But, so I don't think they showed it. I bet ABC probably did, would be my guess.
Sure.
And then I go, it's out, and he goes, looks okay. That's all I get back from him.
In a Marvel sense. It looks fantastic in another other sense. My defense is it looks okay in a Marvel sense. I just said, okay, I'm just not excited for it. Then you sent me the thing about a certain somebody coming back, and I said, oh, F, I forgot that was going to be a thing. I'm back in. And I said, the trailer just didn't wow me. Love the poster, though. The trailer did not wow me. And that's why I said, it's okay. Just means I wasn't wowed. It was great, though. But I don't know.
We all know I'm not a huge Hawkeye fan.
I'm not a big Jeremy Renner fan, so that's probably affecting.
I mean, I've never really watched his action movies to begin with, so I'm not going to say anything about him. Just Hawkeye, I'm just like, oh well. But you need someone. You need someone like him in the group, because he still is cool. He's cooler in the comics, but I really like Kate Bishop's character, and I really like Haley Steinfeld.
She's great in the comics.
And I really like Haley Steinfeld as an actress. So to me, I'm like, that's great. That's a big like check. Like that's excellent. That's what we're seeing. The thing is, with these Marvel TV shows, they all have a hook. WandaVision, it's about altering reality to be old-timey TV shows to live in a fake reality. That's cool. That sounds really cool. We get to Loki. Time travel, but not at the same time.
But multiverse
and all this stuff. Okay, pretty cool. Falcon and Winter Soldier, it's about Falcon and the Winter Soldier. The hook was the characters.
And the hook was also who's going to take over the shield.
And which isn't itself a hook compared to what the other ones are.
Right.
And also, yes, COVID changed the whole thing, and people were explaining it again earlier because there was a Reddit discussion about who's been your favorite next phase villains so far. It was overwhelmingly the villain in Shang-Chi. Wenwu, he was incredible. Awesome. And a lot of people said we're ranking Carly at the bottom, but they weren't faulting her because information came out afterward that Carly was going to have a whole side story about the Red Hand or whatever they were releasing a bioweapon, a virus, and they were like, "Oh, COVID happened, can't do that now." So that's no one's fault. So Falcon Winter Soldier, I think, lacks for many reasons, but then we get to Hawkeye, and it's literally Home Alone 2 /
I'll be home for Christmas
/ Die Hard, or what's the thing everyone says is a
Die Hard. No, it had big Die Hard.
Everyone's like it's a someone's like it's Die Hard with arrows, and I'm watching this, and also, I mean, we live on the East Coast. I've gone to New York City for Christmas. I'm just watching. I'm like, this is so freaking cool because it's exactly what I want. This is something that's going to be. The way I put it is, it's going to be Haley Steinfeld's Kate Bishop is going to be on par with. I always say Yelena. It's not Yelena. Elena from Black Widow, and that's going to be the thing. We know that she is going to be one of the villains in Hawkeye as well. We know that, we've seen set pictures. So those two having quips off each other is going to be funny on itself. And Jeremy Renner is clever. Like he can be like a kind of like a funny actor, the same way Mark Ruffalo can be. It's just they haven't written those characters like that until now.
Sure.
It's
gonna be good. I'm excited to see it. I really like the release date. I wish it was a little different. So it's coming out the November 24th, which is the one day before Thanksgiving. I wish they went a step further. I wish they did it like 8:00 at night Thanksgiving Day. We've always talked about how cool it'd be if everybody could sit down at one time and watch it. Thanksgiving would have been the perfect experiment to try that out on, I think.
Yeah, but you can't do that to Thursday night football like that.
Why? Why not?
You can't compete with those ratings.
Well, you don't have to compete for it. It's if people want to watch it live, you could do it, and then if not, you watch it. I mean, it comes out at 3 a.m. So like, it usually comes out at 3. I think you could do it. Worst comes to worst, people watch it after Monday Night Football. I think that would have been a cool experiment just to see how many people are logging on at 8 p.m. to watch this all together at the same time, or 5 p.m. on the West Coast, whatever it is. I think that would have been something cool to try, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
I think Eternals comes first. We now have
November 4th or something like that.
What If, Eternals, Hawkeye,
Spider-Man. It's going to be good. Good 2021, everybody.
And now, though, it's time for What If.
Let's talk about What If. So we're talking about Marvel Studios' What If Zombies, episode 5 of the series. I guess let's start off with zombies in general. I'm not a big zombie guy, so I was really like, I know people were hyping this episode up or like really excited to see it, I guess. I didn't really care. I'm not a big zombie guy to begin with. Cliff, it seems like you might be kind of a zombie guy. I just don't care for it. It was still a great episode, but it wasn't when I was like, I need to see zombies, Marvel What If zombies. I wanted to see a bunch of the other stories like the T'Challa's, Star-Lord, I'm dying to see Gamora's, Thanos, things like that. So what are your thoughts on zombies in general? Were you excited about this episode?
See, that's the one I don't care too much about. I really don't care about seeing Gamora as the daughter of Thanos. I'm like, oh, it'll be cool, but yeah, So I just kind of fall into every category. So when I was in high school, I used to do this thing where I would pick an up and coming show or a semi-popular getting their show, and watch it during Hell Week during football practice. So I would do nothing during the day when we had 2-a-days except sit in an air-conditioned room before, either after or before practice, and watch a show. And the first one I ever did was The Walking Dead when it was still in season 2. And I really liked it. They scorned me a few years ago, and it really made me fall off the bandwagon of The Walking Dead. I was very pissed off with them, and it really just killed the show for me. Zombies themselves, though, to me are really interesting. It's really cool. Zombieland is an incredible movie. And I really want to see that Zack Snyder version zombie movie that's on Netflix.
Yeah, with Batista in it.
Yep, with Batista in it. So, and also then zombie games are always really cool too. So I am personally a zombie fan. So I was already like, oh, this is going to be cool. And then you throw the Marvel into it and they're very sentient and keep their powers and can maximize them as well.
That aspect of it was very, very, very cool to me. I definitely agree with you on that. I thought that was awesome, that they kept their powers and whatnot. Yeah, it's just, I don't know, zombies have just never, ever really done it for me. But this doesn't mean I didn't like this episode. I thought it was still awesome to watch. It just, I don't know, I'm not a big zombie guy. So
not a zombie guy.
The Nexus event in this episode, because we always have to talk about the Nexus event. We're talking about what if. So what made this reality, what made this multiverse world different from the other ones, is that when Hank Pym and Scott Lang go back into the quantum realm to try to rescue Hank's wife, Janet Van Dyne, we find out that she was infected by a parasite in the quantum realm that basically turned her into a zombie. She was able to come back from the quantum realm, attacked Scott, tried to attack Hope. Hope escaped, but Scott became then the patient zero, besides Janet, I guess, for the zombie virus, and it all of a sudden spread like wildfire across San Francisco and across what seems like the United States. Doesn't seem like it went across the world, but I couldn't really tell yet.
I'm gonna guess that yes, just based on the fact they have wizards.
Fair.
Sorcerers.
Yes, very, very fair. So that was the Nexus event. What did you think about that? Because I was thinking this whole time, how the heck do you have a Nexus event that somehow brings zombies into things? I was thinking it was going to be something with like Doctor Strange somehow trying to bring something back to life at some point. But so this was very different, but I liked it. It didn't seem too far-fetched as far as like a zombie story can be, I guess.
I thought it was going to be Civil War. I thought that the thing Crossbones and his group was stealing at the beginning, in like the opening, was going to be a zombie type virus. Remember how he threatened to drop it? A lot of people thought that. I'm like, that sounds really clever. I'm kind of happy this is the way they went, because it's like, also just keeps solidifying Hank Pym is so close to being the worst person in the universe in every timeline.
Yeah, I mean, he's the reason why all the Avengers died in one of the episodes, too. So, yeah, I can see
actually, in 2 now. 2 episodes.
Now, too. Yeah, you're very right on that, yeah. No, awesome. So, that's the Nexus event. I thought it was fine. Like I said, I was like really like thinking, oh, what the heck could be the Nexus event for that? So that was definitely interesting. Let's talk about the team, because we have obviously some of them do get by the zombie or get affected by the zombies, but I thought the team was really cool, because that's another thing, is a big part of this is the main Avengers, who you think of like Captain America, Iron Man, Hawkeye. They all get infected, as well as a bunch of other heroes. So our main team in this, to start off with at least, is Happy Hogan, who, and this is what I love about this too, is a lot of these characters kind of not take up the mantle, but like they take up an aspect of a person they're associated with. So like Happy Hogan is in this, he's part of the team. He's using Iron Man's gauntlets. That's it. He's not using Iron Man's suit, but just Iron Man's gauntlets to like attack people. We have Kurt, which was just the funniest addition to this. And Kurt is one of like the ex-cons that work with Scott Lang in Ant-Man and the Ant-Man and the Wasp. Very funny that he's a part of this team. We got Bucky Barnes, who kind of takes over for Cap, and we'll talk about that later. Sharon. We got Okoye, who takes over for Black Panther, because T'Challa seems like he was taken by the virus.
He's MIA.
Yeah, MIA. We got Hope Van Dyne, who is our own superhero. We got Peter Parker, who has the cloak that Doctor Strange wears, because he's also taken by this virus. And we got Bruce Banner. So what were your thoughts on the team? It was definitely a ragtag bunch. I loved it. I thought it definitely worked for the show. I thought it was wicked funny that this was the pairing we had.
It was a great pair, because that's exactly what would happen in a zombie apocalypse. You get an unlikely band of people. The best out of all of them, I mean, it was funny. Happy's always a fun one. I'm very afraid he's going to die in this upcoming Spider-Man because everyone close to Peter Parker dies. But I really liked the dynamic, and I really want to see it on stage now, or on screen now, between Peter Parker and Hope Van Dyne, because it was just so nice and wholesome, and I'm like, this is great. This is really something that should happen. That this is something that we should see, and it's nice that we can start to explore these potentials.
And I mean, well, let's talk about Quantumania for a second. If Quantumania is supposedly the new Young Avengers thing, who better to lead a Young Avengers team than Peter Parker, or at least help out with that? So maybe in a live action, if that's the way they're going with Quantumania, where they're going to form the Young Avengers, maybe Peter Parker makes an appearance in that movie to help out with that, because it would be cool to see Hope and him have that interaction in live action, because I thought it was great in this as well. So just like you said,
I see where you're going with Young Avengers, but I don't think Peter is going to be involved with them.
Probably not, but
we're definitely getting Young Avengers. I will say that.
Yeah.
Like I would absolutely guess that just based on the lineup and slate we're seeing. But I don't think Peter's all, even in the comics, Peter's always his own thing. He's your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
That's very fair. I want to talk about this real quick, just like the nods to other movies that we've seen in the actual like main Infinity Saga timeline. So I love that the training video is made by Peter Parker, Spider-Man, and it's very much patched together like a high school video project, just like he was kind of doing in Homecoming, recording the events of Civil War and showing that up. I love that little nod. I love the nod when Bucky and Zombie Cat fight, where Bucky gives the line. I guess that was the end of the line. So I love that we get these little quips and nods to our main universe that we think of as the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but they fit in here perfectly, and it's funny that they can happen in these universes. What were your thoughts on these little bonuses, I guess?
That line, I guess this is the end of the line, was so out of pocket. That was mean. People know whenever we watch these things, I end up watching it at like 6 a.m, and so I didn't like process it, but afterward I'm like, oh my god. And the same thing with the Twitter account having the Tony Stark zombie poster with the I Love Brains 3000. Everyone was like, what are you doing? And the other one we'll talk about is Vision, where it's like, wow, like you guys are sick at this point. You are sick and twisted at this point.
And obviously we do get the we obviously got the next event with Janet, but what's cool is the way that this story starts. It's kind of like this version's like Infinity War, where we're assuming Bruce gets sent down from the big ship in Infinity War. He gets sent down to the Sanctum Sanctorum, whatever it's called. He's crashed there. He's like, Thanos is coming. Tony, Wong, and Stephen Strange are not there. We get that opening fight scene with Ebony Maw and Cull Obsidian, and those characters die in this, which doesn't happen in the main movie. They're killed by Iron Man, Doctor Strange, and Wong, but they're zombified versions. This is what's great about animation. We talk about this all the time with Star Wars, at least I do. You can do so much more in animation as far as fight scenes and different things, because you don't have to spend a whole VFX budget on special effects. So it was really cool seeing how Doctor Strange was using his powers with Tony, which is funny because they weren't really a cohesive team until Doctor Strange snaps, and even in Endgame kind of thing, but they were such a team together because they were zombies. So little nods like that was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, for sure.
Any thoughts on anything else that you saw that you liked, for little nods to the original stuff?
I think overall it was just good. That's the thing. I'm trying to think of, like, they did a really good job paying homage to a lot of different zombie inspiration. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the way the zombies was very World War Z, where they're a little bit more, they're real threats. Like in Walking Dead, in big packs, they're a threat, and if you keep your guard down, but like they can do stuff, which is the crazy
even a
part.
one-on-one could really mess you up in this universe, and especially if they're a Avenger zombie, that's even worse.
Exactly. That's where it becomes an issue.
Now let's talk about the biggest parallel that happened between the Infinity War Saga timeline and this, was we get a very quick reference to WandaVision in this, because we find out that in this universe, Vision's still alive, because, again, Infinity War hasn't happened yet. It's the beginning of Infinity War. But his Mind Stone, which is still intact, hello,
We have a kitty on the podcast.
But his Mind Stone is keeping the zombies at bay. And the team that is left at this point has this great idea. Okay, we're going to try to use the signal in Wakanda to signal the Mind Stone's energies to the world to try to save everybody and turn everybody back from zombies. And Vision was actually able to do it successfully with Scott Lang, even though he died. But it's only his head. He only saved his head, but it was enough to save him from turning into a zombie. What are your thoughts on that? Because what happens essentially, so before I get your thoughts, sorry about that, Bucky discovers T'Challa, who was MIA, is alive, and he is being prepared to be feasted on by a zombie Wanda Maximoff, the Scarlet Witch. And many, many people were sacrificed by Vision to zombie Wanda to keep her alive, because even though he has the Mind Stone frequency that's helping people turn out from zombies back to themselves, Wanda's chaos magic is too powerful for this. So it's kind of like that other side where in WandaVision, Wanda just couldn't give up the fact that Vision was gone, couldn't see her dead. And in this, Vision can't give up Wanda, has to keep saving her even though she's not herself. What were your thoughts on that? I love the parallels, especially that soon, where we literally just got WandaVision earlier this year.
And that's the thing where Vision is usually a very logical until it comes to Wanda. So seeing it like that is a very interesting look. And the way he ends up actually showing how it's justified is also crazy, because it's not. It's not.
It's just straight up love.
But that's the thing. In some senses, love's not justified, but it's not logical, but it happens. It works anyway.
Yeah. I really thought that was a cool way to do this. And now we'll get to the final thing. Let's talk about cliffhangers. Cliffhangers have happened in, I believe, every single episode of the series so far. We get it for the one that really comes to mind is what happens to Peter Quill when he's working at that DQ and Ego comes kind of thing.
I think we know what happens.
We get the cliffhanger of what happens to Captain Carter when she comes back through that wormhole in the first episode, and then it starts off the Avengers movie. In this case, we leave off with Wanda fighting Bruce Banner, who is able to finally turn himself into a Hulk, which he couldn't do in Infinity War. We get the head of Scott Lang with Peter Parker escaping with the injured T'Challa with the Mind Stone, because Vision finally gave it up, and they are going to Wakanda to go broadcast the signal. Who's waiting for them in Wakanda but a zombified Thanos, which is the coolest freaking thing I've ever seen in the entire world, with 5 of the 6 Infinity Stones. So again, the only thing he needs is the Mind Stone. That's the last stone he needs, just like in Infinity War going into Endgame. But this one's a zombified version. He has not only his army, but he has a whole horde of zombies behind him, and that's all we get for that. So what was your thought on that cliffhanger? And then I want to talk about cliffhangers in general in this show.
So someone brought a really good idea up that Thanos wasn't actually zombified. He was using one of the stones to pretend to be a zombie to blend in. Doesn't really matter. I don't think we're going to get closure on it, because I think Doctor Strange's episode spoiled or gave us foreshadowing on what it is, where all of these what ifs lead to the downfall of their universe.
Okay.
Their universe is destroyed because of the actions that they made. We outright saw it with Doctor Strange. He literally had his universe implode with only him surviving.
And the Watcher said as much too, that he brought it to the end, and Doctor Strange knew it too, which is crazy, because that was the coolest thing, is they broke that fourth wall in that episode with the Watcher and Doctor Strange a little bit.
They did, and it just keeps going where Peggy, we don't know what Peggy has done yet, where when the Avengers aren't there, they end up having Loki in charge, and that probably leads to more issues as well, and we just keep going. And then with T'Challa, Ego gets the person he needs. So all the planets he left stuff on now become Ego as well. There's no stopping him because they don't know about the threat. And the thing this is where my theory is that we're calling them the Guardians of the Multiverse, because Ultron, with all the stones, can destroy the multiverse. So the Watcher saves all of these heroes that were, let's say, right place, wrong time, or wrong place, wrong time, that now need to team up all these outcasts from universes that no longer exist are now going to put themselves on the line to save the entire multiverse.
Yeah.
And that's why none of these are actually cliffhangers. All of these are endings. All of these are endings of that universe, except for a few certain people.
Now, okay, I think that's a great point. So I think cliffhangers is definitely the wrong word, and you kind of showed that to me right now, and I appreciate you for that. Would you want to see these worlds ending? We basically see it with the Doctor Strange one. Let's call a spade there. But, like, I don't know. I feel like the world wasn't ending in Captain Carter. Like, that felt like a legitimate cliffhanger. Same with, I think it was Nick when all the Avengers died. I think that's the episode he finds Captain America's body kind of thing, and it ends there. Like, those felt like cliffhangers.
Oh, they find Captain America's body and Miss Marvel, and Captain Marvel comes back.
Right, with them. So, like, maybe those don't have endings, but I don't care. Whether they have ending of the universe or not, I don't want to see anything else from this. I like the idea that this show is called What If, that they give me a piece of this universe, and then it's up to me to imagine what happens next. I don't want to... Originally, I think I was like, oh my god, I want to see what happens next. I don't want to see it. I want to imagine it. I want to have this headcanon of this is what happened in the battles of zombie Thanos versus Peter Parker, Scott Lang's head, and T'Challa. Also, they probably are going to die, but maybe I can create that reality, that 1 in 14 million chance or whatever, that they survive and they win the day. I don't know.
Maybe. Also, shout out to What If for making a very nice Futurama reference with Scott Lang's head in a jar.
Yes.
Very much appreciated. But yeah, that's the question is going to be what if leads to a final whole. And that's going to be the interesting thing. And we know people are making jokes that we keep waiting for Party Thor. We know tomorrow, which if you're listening to this today, when this is live, you're going to be watching the Killmonger Saves Tony episode. And my bet, if we can make predictions because we're going to be talking about this tomorrow. What do you think this is going to be? What do you think Killmonger and Tony is going to end up being?
I think it's going to end up with Killmonger on the throne as the Black Panther eventually.
Yes, I think that this Killmonger that we're going to see tomorrow is going to be the Guardians of the Multiverse's Black Panther, but also Tony is not going to be Iron Man. He's going to be Ironmonger, and he's going to be a villain, and he's going to be the villain. But we also know we're probably going to Sakaar with Tony, so we're going to end up seeing it also. So it'll be it's going to be interesting to see. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. No, some good stuff. But Cliff, I think that's all we got for this. Do you have anything else to talk about What If Zombies? I thought this was great and good conversation. I'm glad we're back. It feels good to be back.
We're back. I got nothing else to say today, though.
Awesome. Cliff, where can they find you? And I'm going to switch it on you and the podcast.
Oh, God. You're putting me on the spot, so you can find me at CPRobinson81, and you're probably asking me this because you do not remember all of it. So you can find us on Twitter at StreamTheMouse. You can find us on Instagram at StreamingWithTheMouse. You can find us on Facebook, Streaming with the Mouse, and you can find us on our website, cprob.com/StreamTheMouse. And
that's
Cam,
the one I
you
couldn't
can
remember.
take it away. And we're still working on the website, but it's looking better.
Be sure to find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Be sure to check out Streaming with the Mouse on YouTube. Be sure to like, rate, review, subscribe, whatever they have on that platform that you're watching or listening this on. Please be sure to do that. You can also find me on Twitter at CamRamos95. We will be back next week with an episode, so I know I'll be on my honeymoon. We will be recording an episode tomorrow on the day that the new What If Killmonger Saves Iron Man episode drops, and we'll release that sometime next week while I'm away, and we will get back to more podcasts, weekly podcasts, especially talking about What If. Like Cliff said earlier, we got Hawkeye coming up. We're going to get Book of Boba Fett eventually. We got a lot of stuff in the works here, too, so we're excited to talk about it. Thanks so much for listening. Have a great day. Have a magical day. Thanks again. See you later.
Bye, guys.